Well, welcome along to this weekend's look at the action with Titanbet.co.uk. This weekend, it's FA Cup fourth round time. A warm welcome along to this week's action then. It's FA Cup fourth round time. A lot of teams playing the big boys. We start on Friday night. I'm joined by Chris. I can't see Cambridge upsetting Manchester United. For all that the lovers of the game would like to see it, it's not going to happen. Yeah, you've got to be a romantic, haven't you, to really think that Cambridge have got a chance. United probably going to give them a bit of a footballing education, you would have thought. League Two, not doing particularly well in League Two either. Can see United winning by 3 or 4 to 0. Yeah, comfortable. Then we go to Saturday. Chelsea take on Bradford. Can't see much happening for Bradford. They did all right in the cup competitions last season. Enjoyed a few good away days. Eventually got a spanking in the Capital One Cup final. But this time it's Chelsea. Jose Mourinho could put out his fourth team, couldn't he, and win that? Yeah, it'd be quite comfortable, won't it? I think it'll be a workmanlike performance from Chelsea to get a couple of goals up and then just switch off. And it'll be a day out for the Bradford fans, won't it? Another trip down to London, but no joy, I wouldn't have thought. No. Moving on then, Manchester City take on Middlesbrough. Now then, City, all of a sudden things getting a little bit rocky. Outplayed by Arsenal last week. Middlesbrough aren't Arsenal, but Artur Karanka's men are going very well. They will fancy their chances. City a little bit nervy. It'll be the second team. I fancy this will be a tougher one than we maybe think. Maybe just the odd goal in it. City 2-1. I fancy Borough to get a replay out of this. City already talking about that big game against Chelsea the following week. Maybe not completely focused on Borough, who, as you say, are going well in the Championship. I fancy a 2-2 draw. Yeah, could be a good one to get on that, Borough at City. Moving on, Southampton take on Crystal Palace. Southampton, I think, will have too much for Palace. Palace have one sole aim this season, that is to survive in the Premier League. I reckon Palace are going to make a wholesale set of changes and Southampton will win it comfortably. Yeah, I fancy Saints to be a sneaky outside bet to win the FA Cup. They've got enough quality, haven't they? They've shown that plenty of times already this season, and I don't think Palace want to be involved in the Cup. Can see Pardew putting out his second string and Palace winning by 2 or 3. Yeah, I think so as well. Moving on, Tottenham take on Leicester. Spurs, have they got too many games? They're in the Europa League, they're in the Capital One Cup. Do they need a run in the FA Cup and trying to push for a top 4 in the Premier League as well so that they get Champions League football? Could be just too many games for Pochettino's men. So Foxes maybe, who hold the record for the most appearances in the FA Cup final without winning it, in 4, maybe for the away win for them. But then again, they will not want to win either because they're fighting for Premier League survival. Neither of them want to win. It's going to be 0-0. Yeah, much like Palace, I don't think Leicester want to be involved. They don't want any distractions in the FA Cup, as much as it is still a glamorous competition. So I can see Tottenham easing through this one. They play pretty well against Burnley at the Lane in their third round replay. So 2-0 to Spurs, I'm going. Kane to score. Fancy not wanting to be involved in the FA Cup. What on earth has happened? Moving on then, Liverpool take on Bolton. Liverpool have too much for Bolton. Bolton won't make it easy for them. Depends on what side Liverpool put out with an array of second teamers, but I think Brendan Rodgers' men will come through comfortably. I think Bolton might get another replay out of this. I think Liverpool, again, struggling to score goals at home, aren't they? Yes, Raheem Sterling's back and that will be a massive boost to them. But I think Bolton, much better under Neil Lennon in the Championship, could well hold out for a 1-1 draw in this one. Bit more feisty, like their manager. Moving on to Sunday, and West Ham face a tricky trip to the West Country to face a Bristol City side that are flying. West Ham, again, they're pushing for European football in the Premier League. It'll be a second string Sam Allardyce team, or certainly there'll be a few changes. I fancy a home win. Bristol City to beat them 3-1, I reckon. Wow, big prediction from you. I can't see a cup upset coming at Ashton Gate this weekend. I think West Ham are just going to have a bit too much for them. Be a really good game though. I fancy it to be 2-1 to the Hammers. I think Sam Allardyce fancies his side to go on and win this competition as well. Maybe another outside bet like Southampton to win it overall. Hammers hold the record for the most goals scored in a final without winning it in that 3-3 draw with Liverpool when they eventually lost on penalties. Moving on, Aston Villa take on Bournemouth. Aston Villa can't win a raffle, can they? Everything going wrong for the Villains. Bournemouth, Eddie Howe's Bournemouth, flying at the top of the Championship. Surely this has got upset written all over it. Yeah, I fancy this to be the upset. The lower league side, if you can call Bournemouth that, taking
taking the scalp of Villa. Not too many places separating them though, really, is there? With Bournemouth doing so well in the Championship. Gave Liverpool a decent game in the Capital One Cup. Yeah, I can see them coming away with a victory from Villa Park, who, like other teams, I'm not sure they want to be in the FA Cup this season.
Up the cherries! Brighton take on Arsenal in our last look at a game. Arsenal cock a hoop after their win at City last week. Brighton not going particularly well, but I think Brighton will fancy their chances against the second string Arsenal side. They play good football and they may look at this and think, well, Arsenal aren't bothered, they're pushing for bigger things. Possibly take it back to the Emirates, draw down at Brighton.
I think Arsenal will just edge this one. Brighton improved under Chris Hughton since he took over. They couldn't have been much worse than they were under Sami Hyypiä, but I think Arsenal will just have a bit too much for them. They'll have a bench packed full of quality, I fancy. As you say, a second string to start, but bring on somebody like Sanchez. He could make the difference.
There you go, that's your lot. Don't forget to check out titanbet.co.uk and have a flutter on the magic of the cup.